Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found, and of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. Tomorrow, the numbers don't lie. Bonus episode of Going In Raw is happening. We need your vote. We need you guys to vote on the tag team of Edge and Christian. Go to the Patreon, patreon.com/Steve and Larson, or you can also find the link during one of our live shows on the Twitch, or if you're a YouTube channel member, we need your votes for Edge and Christian so we could formulate the most scientific breakdown of Edge and Christian, the tag team, and their career as a tag team.
Indeed.
On the numbers don't lie. So check that out tomorrow here at the Twitch, twitch.tv/Steve and Larson, also on Patreon. And if you're a YouTube channel member, this weekend on Sunday, from what I understand, there's a very important Superb Owl happening, Larson, the most superb owl. And we're going to be watching that Superb Owl. That's right. We're doing a Super Bowl watch along over there on the Twitch. Should be fun. You, me, the Enforcer, probably the Manturn. Is Manturn going to watch too?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. I guess we could see if he's available.
See what he's doing.
He likes the football.
He likes the foosball. His team's not in it this year, though.
No.
They were last year. It was actually wildly entertaining to watch him cringe and celebrate and cringe again and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Fun.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was wildly enjoyable. You're right.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are hopefully wildly enjoyable, Tony Khan is promising seemingly an absolutely insane Dynamite tonight.
Oh, wow.
He's been talking up this forbidden door. Someone's coming through it, signing a deal after leaving their old company behind with AEW.
Slamming the door.
So expectations are through the roof based on the amount of promotion involved in all this.
Yeah.
And of course, to promote the show further, Tony's been doing the press rounds in advance of tonight's Dynamite.
Why hasn't he been on our show? We're like a pretty highly rated show, man. Why isn't he on our programming?
I mean, he's been like Busted Open. They're on actual radio, aren't they? They're on Sirius XM.
Satellite radio.
All right. PW Insider. TV Insider. He's been on stuff like that.
Oh, he's been on TV Insider. That's a real thing. That's huge.
That is a real thing. So this is what he had to say on Busted Open Radio. And these transcripts come to you from wrestlingnews.co. Quote, "I will say I'm going to try and satisfy a lot of fans tonight. I've had a lot of thoughts over the weekend about how to do that and what that means. I think we're going to have a great show. I've pivoted some plans even the last few days in a good way to make the show even better, I think.
Wow.
It's just going to be an awesome night.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of fun things already announced. There's more things we're going to do that we have not announced. And he did an interview with PW Insider as well. This is what he said there. He says, I don't think I've exactly been so specific about who's coming. Is that Veer?
It might be Veer. Might be Veer.
But I said it's going to be a major signing for us, and I think it's going to be a very exciting night. Like I said, I've opened the forbidden door. I don't want to say exactly what's going to happen or when it's going to happen, but it's going to be an eventful night, and I hope that people get their expectations met. Frankly, I've seen a lot of other speculation. There are a lot of great names out there. I don't want to get too specific to say exactly what's going to happen, but it's going to be a great night for the fans, and I promise there's definitely one surprise.
Ooh.
And I think there'll be some other really fun stuff along the way.
So what's besides this big, him going out there and satisfying all the fans deal, but besides the debut, what else has been announced for the show tonight?
Give me a moment. I can answer that question. Maybe I'm reading too much into what he's been saying. Oh, that's right. It's Page versus Archer tonight for the title.
Oh, the Texas Death Match. Wow.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good match.
There's nothing on their website about it. So give me a second. I'll go to their Twitter.
Yeah. Go ahead. What was your thoughts?
So, I mean, just based on, again, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but based on what he's been saying, it almost kind of seems like not only is there going to be a debut, but this debut is going to bring with it some sort of storyline,
controversy, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Or something. Yeah. Cause he keeps on mentioning the forbidden door, kind of redefining what it is. It's talking about someone leaving their previous company behind as if they were unhappy there and coming to AEW to sign a deal. And, like what we talked about this the other day, when I saw that, how he put it, I was like, oh, Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, right.
Of course,
yeah.
Ali's still under contract with WWE,
But,
unless they want to get into some serious legal entanglements. He's not coming to AEW.
Yeah, unless they worked out a gentleman's agreement. You know, they seem to be, we had heard before that, of course, AEW and WWE are on somewhat friendly terms in terms of, hey, can we use some people for like these projects, like the documentary projects? Apparently Tony Khan and like Johnny Ace or somebody had been in contact and things had been friendly between the two. What would prevent Tony Khan from saying, hey, I'm interested in buying out a 90-day no-compete clause for a guy that you guys aren't using. He wants his release. Are you guys open to that? I don't know. Maybe they'd say yes, or maybe they'd say no. But, you know, maybe they'd say yes.
I'd be very surprised if WWE said yes to that.
Same.
Especially,
me too.
I'd be exceptionally surprised. Like I'd pick my jaw up off the floor or something like that were to happen. Because it's one thing to get a little bit of crossover, to have Jericho on the Broken Skull sessions, or to have a couple people interviewed for WWE documentary. There's no harm in that from WWE's perspective, but having Tony Khan come in and buy out contracts, especially because, like, you know, if WWE, they had kind of some remorse about releasing Jeff Hardy, they wanted to bring it back. And if Tony Khan calls him up and says, hey, I want to buy out his 90-day no-compete, I'd be hard-pressed to think that would be like cool with that. Hey, yeah, let's accelerate this process, this mistake that we think we just made.
Me too, but it's been a weird couple of years in wrestling, man.
It has been.
And this is just like big money talking to big money. In the end, like, does WWE even, I don't know, like sometimes I think they do, sometimes I think they don't care about stuff like that. Like if they think, oh, Mustafa Ali, he's not a needle mover, you know, to like you and me, that's like a really cool deal. But like, is he going to pop their ratings for like, it's going to blow up the people who are watching the show already. So maybe they think it's not really that big of a deal. So I don't know. I could see that as like some sort of possibility that probably isn't going to happen, but I don't think it's I don't think it's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I mean, I would think it's crazy, but
it would be pretty crazy. It would be pretty insane.
But,
so when I went out and checked the mail before we started, I had a wild thought.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I was thinking, okay, what's a debut or debuts? He promised one.
Mm-hmm.
He also said there's surprises
and
more
surprises.
And it seems like a continually evolving thing based on, you know, if you want to interpret it as such. So what if tonight, to face Isaiah Cassidy, we get Keith Lee?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
But he's joined by William Regal.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And the idea is that over the next few weeks, it'll be Keith. It'll be Killer Cross.
Yeah.
It'll be John Gargano. It'll be
Samoa
Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
That Regal is going to bring a faction of former NXT champions to AEW.
Ooh. Uh-oh.
And, you know, I don't know if they'd want to frame the storyline like this. I don't even know if I like it. But essentially is, you guys beat us in the ratings.
Yeah.
And look what happened to us. We all lost our jobs.
That's incredibly weak standing coming into a new company.
I know.
We're all unemployed now. It's your fault.
We're gonna come and take over AEW.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's a cool idea. It's a really cool idea. I wonder if maybe the tweaking and the surprise aspect of things is as ambitious as your idea is. I think it's a great idea. I really do. I wonder if it might be a little, because I mean, you've already seen the sort of buzz that the Undisputed Era has brought. What if that was the first sort of, the first, whatever in the dam, crack in the dam, I guess. But I get the feeling that it might be something a little bit more along the lines of, what if it's Keith Lee? What if it's like the entirety of Hit Row? What if Shane Strickland shows up?
Well, their no compete's not up yet.
Shane Strickland's no compete's not
no,
up
yet? they got released on the 17th of November
as
opposed to
they were ones after. Okay,
or something like that.
What if it's Keith Lee? But what if he answers a TNT Open Challenge and he beats Sammy Guevara? Mm-hmm. What if it's something like that? Where, I mean, I know they teased Darby Allin for that, but what if it's the surprise and title win thing that you can do with the TNT title, because they just do whatever they want with that anyways, and that's sort of their whim title they can do. So it could be something like that. Yeah, I mean, some sort of big story development would seem to be in order. But yeah, I don't know. Also, he's a promoter, and there is something to be said about sort of overselling what you're going to do. But yeah, your idea would definitely like That would meet that expectation. That would beat that expectation. If it's just like, Keith Lee showing up, how sometimes AEW has those like awkward introductions, like Andrade showed up and people were like, wait, what the hell's going on? What's this?
No.
Oh,
didn't even have music or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. He just sort of wandered out there like Lex Luger. Hopefully whatever they do, but they sort of solved that problem at All Out when they had like some really cool surprise entrances.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a good time. Hopefully it's cool people. And maybe it's Juice Robinson. Maybe Tony is just a huge Juice Robinson fan.
It could be
massive.
Could be Juice Robinson. Apparently, he is a free agent.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, yeah. Is that
kind of have to talk about NXT now.
Oh hell! It's only been 11 minutes. No. Let's do this. Let's talk about the announcement about Triplemania, April 30th, the beginning of the Mascaras, who's going to lose their mask tournament. And the first match announcer, the big match announced anyways, Ultimo Dragon against Penta. How awesome is that?
That's great.
I hope Ultimo Dragon brings replicas of all those titles he won, where he had that one picture where he was Ultimo.
Oh, that'd be great.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would be fantastic.
I'm looking forward to that, man. So we've got on the 19th, we've got Rey to Reyes. We're going to do a watch along of that over on the Twitch. And that's sort of all I got. Now I guess we can talk about NXT 2.0.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there's any more information about what else might be on the Triplemania 31 card. But I can't find anything yet.
That's not shocking. AAA is weird that way. I mean, Lucha Blog, but you have to dig through the snark in order to find the info. Which I love the snark. Don't get me wrong.
I thoroughly enjoyed the snark.
It's great. Like it's like a must-watch Twitter account during the shows.
It really is.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It really is. Let's take a quick break here to get a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Several years ago, I was dealing with severe anxiety, and I learned how important it was to talk to a therapist. But I also learned that it could be really difficult to find the right person to talk to. Today, BetterHelp is providing a safe, convenient, and private online environment where your needs will be assessed, and you'll be matched with your own licensed personal therapist.
BetterHelp isn't a crisis line, nor is it self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online, and you don't have to limit yourself to counselors in your area. BetterHelp services are available worldwide, so you can find the expertise you need regardless of location.
BetterHelp is dedicated to facilitating great therapeutic matches, all without having to sit in another uncomfortable waiting room. You can send your counselor messages whenever you want, or you can schedule regular phone or video sessions. And BetterHelp has made it free and easy to change therapists if needed.
We want you to start living a happier life today. As a Going In Raw listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/raw. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health.
Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/raw.
And before we get back to the show, let's get a word in from our sponsor, Let's Get Checked. Hey, Larson. You're a low energy guy, right?
Am I?
Yeah.
I'm not a low energy. Yeah. I'm not a low energy guy, am I?
Yes, completely, absolutely confirmed. You are low energy Larson. So did you know that fatigue, hair loss, and even a low libido can all be the result of a hormonal imbalance? It might be time to get your testosterone levels checked, friendo. And today's sponsor, Let's Get Checked, has got you covered.
Yeah, I've heard that low testosterone levels can cause fatigue, low energy, and may be linked to depression. So tell me, Steve, how do I go about getting my testosterone tested with Let's Get Checked?
I'm happy you asked, Larson, because it's easy and it's something you could do from the comfort of your own home. You just go to their site, letsgetchecked.com, and order a test kit. Once that arrives, you do a small finger prick and send the sample to their lab, and within a few days, you'll get your results. If your results are outside the normal range, a member of Let's Get Checked's nursing team will contact you to discuss your lab report.
Oh, that sounds easy enough. I could totally do that.
I know, it is easy and convenient, and it can hopefully help you turn from low energy Larson into let's go get it Larson. Even better, our listeners will get 30% off their entire order with the code RAW. Just visit letsgetchecked.com and enter code RAW at checkout to ensure you and your significant other are staying safe. Yeah, NXT 2.0, Dolph Ziggler was there apparently to pop ratings, there to satisfy fans. And it looks like there's a bit of a cluttered title scene now because he shows up. Ciampa's there, but of course the match at Vengeance Day is going to be Braun Breaker, the champion, versus the guy who's totally not going to win, Santos Escobar. And then Dolph Ziggler comes out, and he sits down, and he's like, yeah, this would have been cool back, because I legitimately would have loved to have seen Dolph Ziggler in NXT back during the TakeOver days when they actually had a bunch of really stellar wrestlers there. I just feel like, and then they had AJ and Grayson Waller last month or whatever, and it was like, that would have been cool. Every time they bring somebody out, they're bringing all these great wrestlers over to NXT. I'm like, well, that's about 3 months.
Where was this 3 years ago?
6 months too late, yeah, or 3 years ago, yeah, exactly.
I know, especially like when they were bringing NXT to the USA Network when they won Survivor Series. How about you continue that storyline after NXT wins Survivor Series?
Yeah,
and have main roster talents go over there and have all these great potential dream matches. They didn't do it.
So apparently this was this stems from, of course, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, Dolph Ziggler. LA Knight and Roderick Strong were backstage, and there was a digital exclusive where they were just wandering around backstage, probably for their matches on Main Event, because they've been on Main Event recently, and they run into the Dirty Dogs. In this case, only one Dirty Dog showed up in NXT, Dolph Ziggler. So I guess he's going to have a match at some point with Braun Breaker and make Braun Breaker look pretty good, apparently.
Yeah. Seemingly Dolph is continuing his main roster role as gatekeeper.
He's just doing it there in NXT
do
directly.
It now in NXT. Yeah. If this would happen 3 years ago, it'd been pretty exciting. And here's the thing. I thought Dolph was actually pretty good last night on the mic.
Dude, I'll be honest with you. I always liked Dolph. I am actually a fan of Dolph Ziggler. He's one of the best wrestlers, been one of the best wrestlers 15 years now.
Yeah.
He's not bad on the mic when he's got good stuff. They just never treat him like he's anything special at all.
I know. And he mentioned that in his promo. He says, if I wrestle 100 matches, I'll probably lose 99 out of them. But don't forget that I can still deliver in this ring. And yes, it's not any fault of Dolph that it's hard to take him seriously or get too excited to see him in a major program, because it's not because of him. We've been conditioned to not really care about his fortunes because he loses all the time. Yeah, right. Yeah. And we don't take him as necessarily a viable threat to anybody because he loses all the time. And it's a bummer. Imagine if they had actually got behind him after he was a sole survivor a few years back. Yeah, Survivor Series. I know. That pop he got when he won that match was enormous. I think even then, more than any other time in his career, they had a real opportunity. And I mean, you talk about when he was Mr. Money in the Bank. Then I think they had a real opportunity to push him, because they had that one title run that kind of petered out because he got hurt. And I think he was in a position where people still liked him quite a bit. Yeah. And still had a lot of goodwill if they had gotten really behind him at that point. Yeah. I think they could have gone somewhere with that character.
I think you're right. I think there's been multiple times, not just the
the retirement match against Miz, but after he won that, they could have done it then too.
That was really good stuff. Yeah, it's one of those continual things where I feel like sometimes because Dolph was doing a lot of social media stuff during that Miz feud, and it's sometimes I feel like they let the performers just build so much importance around their matches, which is awesome, and they should do that. Unfortunately, creative after those matches have nothing for them, and it's whatever. All that great stuff you did, we're not really going to build on it or anything because we're WWE. It's kind of what we do. Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, I don't know. I think there was some good wrestling. I thought that the highlight in terms of wrestling was probably that first match, the Creed brothers versus the Grizzled Young Veterans. Goes to show just how amazing the Grizzled Young Veterans are to bring the young sort of green Creed brothers to just a really great match that the crowd was super behind. And it was one of those things, we were talking about this in the pre-show, where I felt like the finish of that match and the story being told in that match, where the Grizzled Young Veterans were the heels and the Creed brothers, who were typically bad guys, were playing the young face underdogs. Yeah, because the Grizzled Young Veterans use underhanded tactics to take out the bigger dude,
Brutus.
Thank you. They took his throat out with doing the thing,
They took his throat out. It was like, is this Roadhouse?
Yeah, they took his throat out. Well, they crushed his windpipe on the bottom of the ring thing.
Yeah.
And so it was like it was just that one dude having to deal with the grizzled young veterans forever. And the crowd was super into it.
He wanted to finish it.
Yeah.
He wanted to be the one to finish the match, which is a good little story beat, because usually they'll have that and the finish will happen. But Julius was going to do the sliding clothesline, and Bruce like,
he was like, let me get that. Yeah, look what they did to my. They went after my throat, and then the crowd was like, I do appreciate also that the NXT crowd has really, embraced 2.0. And yeah, they're into it. And then they pipe in the crowd noise, and it doesn't look as goofy as on main roster. Well, I mean, even though in NXT 2.0, it's like this is an arena crowd noise that we're hearing right now, but it's still like, because the actual fans in attendance are like up waving their hands and fist pumping and stuff like that and yelling, it makes sense. It's like, oh, cool. They added to the ambiance as opposed to what they do on main roster, where people are just sitting there with their hands crossed, looking at their phones, and they pump in these massive boos and cheers and stuff. Doesn't make any sense. So I thought that was a solid match. The Creed brothers moving on in the tournament.
That was really good. I
was kind of bummed out that, like, I feel like they did what they could to try to build Idris Enofe and Malik Blade by sort of fluking them to this point, but then. I mean, it was a competitive match.
It was,
but it did. I feel like it really didn't help them all that much to just take this clean loss to MSK.
I mean, the story really should have been they get the two kind of fluke opportunistic wins, and they have an opportunity to get a similar type win here, but it doesn't work out. MSK. Doesn't get pinned there, whether it be Wesley or Nash Carter. And then they have to find out a way to win it, not by a fluke nature,
Which might, because NXT is actually, one thing I will say about them is that there is, unlike main roster, because I know they're trying to like make NXT a bit more main roster-ish.
Yeah. Because
NXT doesn't suffer from the whims of Vince McMahon where he'll just drop stuff, they do actually carry out stories over a long period of time. And you have to appreciate that. Maybe this is going to be the thing that's going to continue their story. Hey, we got close, but the bottom line is we fluked our way to that point. We need to learn how to actually put together some real wins.
Yeah.
I just think if they took MSK to like more of a dramatic brink of victory for Idris and Malik, and then came up short, it would have been more helpful. But this, I don't know. It was a good match. They're all great, but I feel like I hope that they pick up that thread later on.
I hope so too. Yeah, let's just get into it. Why not?
Sure.
Show opened up with Mandy Rose doing a kind of like a video promo, her dropping a promo with some B-roll cut in. Pretty much she's just laying out her bona fides as woman champion. She says, I'm the baddest bitch in the game. Of course, her and Kaylee Ray were the main event for the show last night for the NXT Women's Championship. After that, we had the first of two semifinal matches in the Men's Dusty Cup. Creed Brothers versus the Grizzled Young Veterans, as you mentioned already. Really fun match. Before the bout, Zach Gibson drops a promo. Steve, do you want to do this?
Soon. Yeah, he says, the Creeds are in over their heads. We've won more matches than the Creeds have had hot dinners. And then the Creeds just, they're done with that line. That was a great line. The Creeds were done with that. They attacked Grizzled Young Veterans on the ramp. Drake and Brutus start pretty early on, though. They start going after Brutus's throat, and they catapult him up into like the bottom of the ring structure there. And then so Brutus, the other guy, Julius, is just sort of on his own.
Yeah.
And
eventually Julius does get the hot tag. And the match kind of breaks down towards the end. At one point, Drake goes up top to do something, but Brutus drives Gibson to the corner. Then Julius runs in and hits Drake with the superplex, and I got the crowd off their feet. Julius does kind of like a slam on Gibson. He's about to go for the sliding clothesline. Brutus says, no, I need to do this. He hits Gibson with the finish. to get the win.
Yeah. Quick reminder, we got a brand new channel, Friendo Club TV. We got a brand new video up today where you and I take all the free agents. By the way, we understand today's Wednesday, and so this video has, a
very limited window of relevancy, potentially, on who shows up on Dynamite tonight.
Well, it's still a really fun video, regardless of whether or not any of these people are taken by AEW. But you are approached by Shane McMahon. I'm approached by Triple H, and so you book. We do a draft for all the available free agents. Mean Street Pro Wrestling versus what was mine called again?
War Games Wrestling.
WGW.
Yeah,
it's a fun video. Go check out Friendo Club TV. After that match between the Gibsons and the Creed brothers, we had Cora Jade in an interview says, you know what? Finally, getting Raquel's respect means a lot to me. We're going to make a lot of noise in the Dusty Cup. She's interrupted by, what are their names? Leon?
Faraz and Leon.
Yeah, I forget their
Valentina
first names.
Faraz and Ulisa Leon. I believe.
Hey, good job. They got a lot to prove, and they've got a competition in them. And then Raquel steps in, and they just start talking shit to each other in Espanol. And Cora's like, what is happening right now? And then Raquel basically says, get out of here, Faraz and Leon, leave. And then she's like, only I can call you that. And then she walks off, and Cora Jade's like, yeah, she has my back. Wait a second, what'd she call me? What?
We get a quick shot backstage. Amari Miller and Wendy Chu arrive at CWC following what seems to be like a pretty expensive shopping spree. They got a bunch of shopping bags with them. And Wendy Chu says, well, that was fun till the card got canceled, so she just throws it in the garbage. Next, Wendy Chu has a match against Tiffany Stratton. That was her credit card.
Yeah, that was her credit, which doesn't make a lick of sense because, like they should have said last week, but yeah, as soon as she had that thing still, like Wendy was like, hey, I've got this. And then admitting on camera that, you've racked up somebody's credit card. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably a felony. It's akin to, I don't know, admitting to having like a fake vaccination card or something, I don't know.
It is a crime. It's a crime.
It's a crime. It's totally
a crime. You committed a crime, and then you publicly admitted you committed a crime. And also a suit is like someone's credit card is lost. What do? You call your bank. You put a hold on it. You get them to issue a new card.
Right.
And then it's a moot point.
Yeah.
Whether someone's got your card or not.
Yeah.
But apparently none of that happened.
No.
Wendy Chu went out, committed a crime, bought a bunch of stuff on Tiffany Stratton's card. So rightfully, as soon as the match starts, Tiffany Stratton's like, where's my card? Give me my card back.
Maybe,
canceled to begin with.
It's possible Tiffany's just a dullard. Because she's like, get my card back. She thinks that, like, card is the thing. It's like, I don't know. Hey, Tiffany Stratton had some cool moves in the ring, though.
Yeah.
I actually paid attention to this match. She's because Wendy Chu, obviously, Karen Q, terrific wrestler. We know that. Yeah. Tiffany Stratton, pretty new. But I liked her little spinning Vader bomb thing. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
There was there was some goofiness. She broke a nail, got pissed off. Her Damien came out.
Yeah.
I thought she has some pretty smooth moves in the ring.
Yeah, she got the win here. I was actually kind of surprised.
She did get the win. I know. Yeah.
That spinning Vader bomb deal was pretty cool.
Yeah.
After that, we had a Draco Anthony promo. He says, I didn't expect to lose my NXT debut last week, but then Joe Gacy and Harlan walk in. Gacy tells him, hey, you shouldn't be disappointed. You gave everything you had. Go keep your head up. Just remember, you don't have to do this all by yourself. I'm here to listen. I'm here. And I'm here to listen to not only your actions, but your words.
Yep.
Anything they might have been doing with this Joe Gacy thing has come to a complete stop. He just wanders around, says stuff, and that's pretty much it.
Draco's probably going to get his first win via DQ here because Harlan's going to not pay attention to the ref. Like, Harlan's just going to have the most dog shit record because he just annihilates people without caring what the ref says. Like, he doesn't even understand that he's in a pro wrestling match. He's got such a limited moveset anyways, it doesn't even look like wrestling.
I know.
Like, he just starts smashing a dude's head into the mat, and it's like, does he not know that this is like professional wrestling? It's such a weird disconnect. Like, you want to, I don't know, man. Like, you want to reach out to that youth demographic, right? And there's literally one act, maybe two Maybe Wendy Chu also, because I could see Wendy Chu's got that thing that everybody kind of knows that person, you know? Carmelo and Trick.
Oh,
they come off as so genuine and like kind of just, you know, of the now, you know? And nothing else on the show really comes off. Like you look at Braun Breaker, your champion, and he's got like a denim vest. His nerdy merch shirt is like tucked into his mom jeans. He just looks like a dork. He's don't get me wrong, the dude can kill people, but he just looks like a dork.
I know.
And like, I don't know who would turn this on and be, and also Saray. I get, because so like, one of my stepkids, Summer, she's like 18 and she's into like sort of, like she's into K-dramas now, the Korean dramas. Right. And, but she's also, you know, she enjoys elements of anime and manga culture. I could see her if I just turn it, because she thinks wrestling's weird, which it totally is. But like if I turned on from Saray's entrance to like one of her matches, Summer might actually be like, oh, that's kind of cool. Because it's not like, I don't know, I don't think it's like insulting to the intelligence of like an anime or manga fan, you know? I could see that maybe being something that like, oh, okay, maybe I'll check this out. I don't know. But like nothing else in NXT. It's like they wonder why their demo's so crap. And it's like, it's because it's all just kind of corny.
Yeah. After Draco Anthony's promo, we get a Pete Dunne interview. He says there's one thing we all know about Tony D'Angelo is that he talks too much, but ever since he lost to Cameron Grimes, he's been very quiet. Says he's not even a social media post, but it must be tough to tweet when your fingers are smashed by a cricket bat. And he says next week we finish this inside the steel cage. Draco steps in. He has a match with Pete Dunne next. He says, hey, Tony D'Angelo may not respect you, but I respect the hell out of you. That being said, it's going to be an honor to share the ring with you. And Pete Dunne just goes, whatever. I'm still going to snap your fingers.
Yeah.
And that match was next.
That match happens next. And he did in fact snap his fingers. That totally happened.
Draco Anthony put forth a pretty good fight here. It wasn't by any means a quick match or a squash match. Tony D'Angelo runs out towards the end with the crowbar, takes a swing at Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne evades, rams Tony into the ring post, punches him, gets back in the ring, hits Draco with German suplex, follows a bitter end for the win. After that, Pete Dunne's kind of leaning against the ropes. Tony comes in, tries to choke him. Pete Dunne just snaps his fingers, and then he starts throwing a bunch of stuff into the ring: chairs, garbage cans, gets his cricket bat, grabs the mic, tells Tony, you're gonna need more in a crowbar. How about we do this? Find everything we can, strap it to the cage, and have a weaponized cage match. And Tony's like, all right, yeah, you're on.
Sure. Good. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Weaponized cage.
Let's do it.
Yeah. After that, we had Zoe Stark and Io Shirai backstage. Zoe wants to talk to her about the Dusty Cup. Says Cora and Raquel are a can they coexist team, but so are we. Say Casey and Caden have amazing chemistry. Io interrupts, says, why are you talking to me right now? And Zoe says, because I know you want back those titles we were never pinned for. We need to find you a partner, somebody who's hard-hitting, somebody who's just as crazy as you. And Io says, okay, I know who to ask, but she's not going to tell Zoe who it is. So who is it, Larson?
I mean, we find out at the end of the show.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Do we? What happened at the end of the show? Oh, yeah. That's
we'll get
happened.
to it.
Yeah, it's Kaylee Ray.
Yeah, it is Kaylee Ray. So Wendy Chu, she's walking backstage selling the effects of her match against Tiffany Stratton. And Dakota Kai is like all by that stuff, that all the shopping bags that Wendy Chu bought with Stratton's credit card. And Dakota Kai says, you might have a new wardrobe, but all these clothes won't buy you a victory in the ring.
Man, ouch. Hard words there. After that, we had LA Knight, versus Sangha, LA Knight. And, of course, Grayson Waller was all over this thing. In the end, though, LA Knight was able to get the win here with it was just his finish, right?
No, so at one point Waller takes the turnbuckle cover off the top turnbuckle,
the turnbuckle thing.
And then Knight sends Sangha into the turnbuckle and hits him with a neck breaker to get the win.
That's right.
And afterwards, Waller hits the ring. Knight hits him with his finish and then gets out of there before Sangha could attack him.
Yeah.
Then we had a Duke Hudson interview. He said Dante Chen was supposed to be calling me out, but I haven't seen him anywhere. He says, turns out saying it and stepping up are two completely different things. He says Dante Chen isn't as tough as he thinks he is. And Mackenzie's like, I feel like there's more to this than you're letting on. And Duke says, yeah, Chen's not here for a reason. There's your scoop. He's about to leave and goes, oh, and I want to wish Indy Hartwell good luck on her match next week.
Yeah.
And then he leaves.
Ooh. Of course, Indy's friend Persia really likes him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, after that, oh man, we got this Braun Breaker Santos Escobar.
This was really long.
Championship Summit. I'm looking at your notes here. I'm like, oh man, yeah. This was pretty
much.
So yeah, go ahead. Let's see how efficient you could be breaking this thing down.
So it's ironic because one of the first things Braun says is, "I'm going to keep this short." So pretty much, it's Braun comes out. I'm going to retain title, Santos. There's nothing you can do about it. Santos says, "You're young, you're new, you're naive. Things happen on my time. Heyman might call you the future of wrestling, but I'm going to end your career." Braun is about to retort. Dolph comes out. He takes a seat at the table, and he pretty much says, he's like, "Hey, Braun, congratulations." I actually like this line. "I see you own or rent a cell phone. Huge fan. Go chase that clout. I'll hang on to my money and my titles." He lists off a bunch of his accolades. And Braun says, "Well, I'm the champ. You're the reason. I'm the reason you're here." Because Dolph asked who he is. Who the hell are you? Not because he doesn't know who he is, but the temerity of you, Braun, to dare step up to Dolph.
I'm bigger than you. Yeah,
exactly. So Braun says, "I'll handle you, Dolph, after I'm done with Santos." And Dolph says, "Amateur hour. You're looking past your opponent already and focusing on me." So eventually Ciampa comes out. He and Dolph get into it verbally a little bit. He says Dolph is the next NXT champion. That's a hard pass. Ciampa wants next crack at the title.
Mm-hmm.
Santos gets involved. Ciampa starts getting involved. Ciampa says, "Don't interrupt me, or you're not making it till Vengeance Day." He says to Braun, "After you're done with Santos, I'm next in line, unless you, Dolph, have a problem with that." And Dolph says, there's the same few, because Ciampa's calling NXT his home.
Mm-hmm.
And Dolph says, "Your home? It's the same few hundred Florida people come out and clap like seals for you, and you think this is your home? When does it end? When does the helmet and elbow pads come off? When do the training wheels come off?" Which is actually a good bit. I like that.
That's a good line,
Ciampa attacks Dolph. They brawl out of the ring and up towards backstage. Meanwhile, Legado attacks Braun. Eventually, they put him through the table there for the championship summit.
Well done. Yeah, I did. Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be really neat is if they send people down to NXT like Dolph Ziggler, like a fishing line, and they bring back up to main roster a Tommaso Ciampa.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's been there on doing some main event matches. He dyed the beard. He's ready to come up to main roster.
I think that'd be great.
What if they do that match on main roster?
Yeah, no.
That'd be cool.
I know that'd be great. What is Dolph on, SmackDown or Raw?
Fuck if I know.
I think he's on Raw. Are the Dirty Dogs on? Yeah, they're on Raw.
They did the Rey Mysterio stuff, didn't they?
Yeah, that's on Raw.
That's on Raw.
Yeah, so on Raw. All right, that'd be cool.
Yeah, Champ on Raw. I'd take that. Then we get Ciampa versus Randall Keith Orton.
Yeah, they both want that match. We got a Kaylee Ray video package, comparable to Mandy Rose one.
Mm-hmm.
She's breaking a bunch of stuff in this. We get a Grayson Waller promo. He says LA Knight just showed his true colors, taking a cheap shot. He says, but he may have gotten lucky and won the match, but he's a real loser because he broke the restraining order. And next week, LA Knight is going to get arrested.
He even did an LA Knight impression. He said, yeah. Yeah, nobody in their right mind would arrest LA Knight because Waller's the guy who approached him.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really how restraining orders work. You can't
not
go
really,
to somebody
no.
If you've given them a restraining order, then you go up to them. Anyways, after that we had Sarai versus Dakota Kai. This was awesome because we got to see another one of those Sarai drop kicks.
Yeah,
those are amazing. And then her exploder, where she basically just dumps people on their heads. That's great too. And that happened to Dakota Kai. Sarai wins this.
Yeah. Yep. Then we get this segment was fantastic. So we get Carmelo and Trick, and they're at a barbershop. And at first, Trick is like teasing Carmelo about dating Ollie J. And Carmelo's like, nah, I'm going on my third date with her.
Okay, so does Ollie J know that they're talking about her and Carmelo being an item? Is she okay with this?
Don't know.
Because I probably doubt it's true, but I guess you never know.
Never know. So anyways, the barber there asked Carmelo if he's ready for his title match against Cameron Grimes. And Carmelo says, I always say people can step up, get stepped on. And Trick says people on Twitter say that Grimes has a chance. Some random dude who's sitting there who apparently no one knows.
This was funny.
Says Grimes does have a chance.
Yeah. He's like, who is that guy? And he's like, and Trick says, I thought he came with you. And they just sort of gloss over it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
There were so many. This was really good. Mm-hmm. And this is the one thing that I think that if you show to people, like, they'll be like, oh, wow, this is kind of neat. Like, it feels like something real. Mm-hmm. But it's so well put together. And Trick has such camera charisma, and he elevates Carmelo with their chemistry. Mm-hmm. It's really, really good stuff.
Yeah. So they want to learn more about Cameron Grimes. So Carmelo says, I'm going to look on Wikipedia. That's accurate.
Yeah.
And they're looking through his thing on Wikipedia. He's like, where's his accolades? Yeah. You've been in NXT for 2 years. Where's his accolades? And Trick says, I'm going to set the record straight. Carmelo, you won the breakout tournament. You won the North American Championship. You unified that belt with the Cruiserweight title. You led Team 2.0 to victory in War Games. Your rise to the top has been meteoric, and Grimes has never been a match like this. And Melo says, Grimes is talented, but he's not a top talent. No one was talking about Grimes before he started doing business with Melo. And when you do business with the A-champ, you become relevant. He says, I'm the money champ. When you're in a match with me, you do numbers.
And then the barber says, you guys ready for your haircuts? And then we get a bunch of great macro lens shots of various barbershop tools, but we don't get to see their haircuts.
Well, the whole thing was really well shot. It was really well put together.
It was really well done. Like, this was the highlight of the thing. I really wish, and I kind of wonder if it's like HBK knows that he can't make Melo the top champion, but he's sort of doing everything he would do with him if he was able to do that, because he's totally treated like, even Carmelo says, I'm the A champion. And I love that. It's so good. And I'm glad that they're getting so much screen time. It's really good stuff.
Yeah. Every week Melo and Trick are the highlight of NXT 2.0.
Yeah. So after that, we're backstage. Indy's on the phone with Dexter. She wants to do a bubble bath with him. And Persia shows up. She's like, was that Duke Hudson on the phone? And he's like, no, it's Dexter Loomis, my husband. And she's like, why? And Persia's like, well, because Duke just wished only you good luck next week, not me too. And he says, I told you he's trouble. Why would he do that? And then Gigi Dolan and JC Jane step in and says, you guys are on the verge of a toxic meltdown. And Persia says, we're still best friends. Don't try to get in our heads. And she was like, Gigi and JC can console Mandy after she loses her title this week, and next week she'll do the same for you guys. And then JC wonders who will console Indy next week after they lose, Dexter or Duke Hudson. And then she shows a picture. She has a physical picture in her hand. And I'm like, who even has physical pictures of anything anymore? Like, you would just hold up a phone. There are little touches like that. But it's like, this is why nobody under 50 years old watches your show, because you have people walking around with a picture of stuff.
Mm-hmm. He has a picture of Indy and Duke Hudson.
Yeah. To show, hey, you guys, they're friends or whatever. They've been friends in the past.
And then that makes Persia upset. She starts a brawl. They fight.
Well, she's I just imagine. And then she gets a picture of Duke and Indy, and they're friends. That's good, Bruce.
Sounds good, Bruce.
Yeah.
Then we got a Nikita Lyons video package. They seem to be distancing themselves, maybe, from the music stuff.
That's good.
And now she's a fighter.
This was the funniest shit all week. Was like somebody posted the video vignette of her on Twitter, and people were just dogging it. So yeah, she was talking about being on the road with her rock star dad and groupie mom.
Still can't believe they actually said that.
My mom was a beautiful groupie. Oh man. So anyways, she was talking about how like apparently life on the road is pretty rough. She had to like ward off people trying to get in their van. And there were some terrible concert goers.
Well, then eventually she brought the fight herself.
Well, she was like,
she
man,
knew she could win.
I had to beat up so many people in defense of my van, and I had to beat up so many like gross concert people that eventually when I would whoop people's asses so much, I liked it, and I would start beating them up for no reason, even if they weren't attacking my van down by the river. Yeah, this is goofy. This is goofy as hell.
Speaking of goofy, next we had Briggs and Jensen backstage, and Jensen is like super nervous about asking out Caden Carter.
I'll be honest, man. I laughed my ass off, and it's basically with Briggs. Briggs was fucking funny in this.
He was pretty funny. So Briggs is like, rip the Band-Aid off. Just go do it.
He's like bullying Jensen into asking her out. It's hilarious.
I know. So they walk up to Caden and Casey. And Jensen's like real nervously asks, hey, I don't know if you guys are doing anything, but maybe we can hang out on Valentine's Day next week. And Casey and Kate are like, oh, yeah, that sounds like fun. Go ahead, text us. We'll work something out. And so they leave. And Briggs goes, who is we? And Jensen says, I don't know. It just came out. That's just what I said. He says, here, I'll give you some money. You can take Casey out to the movies so I get some alone time with Kate. And he gives him like $8.
Briggs says, he's like, this is $8 and it's sweaty. What the hell, man? It was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah, Briggs was pretty decent.
Yeah, Briggs was good. Being just irritated with this guy who doesn't know fucking thing one about asking somebody out. It's pretty funny. After that, we had MSK versus Blade and Enofe. Again, like we said earlier, this is a good match, but in the end,
it was
MSK get their finish in to get the win and advance to the finals. Is that right?
For the Dusty Cup, yeah.
So it's them versus the Creed brothers, which I think
that'll be a really good match.
I think we both sort of called that in the beginning of this.
Yeah, I think so. Then we got a Cameron Grimes video package. Pretty much, he says
this was terrible.
Like, this was not good. I don't know what they're doing with Cameron Grimes, but it's not good.
It's awful. It's honestly, it's like lobotomy, dude. This dude has been lobotomized.
Mm-hmm.
He's like walking around his old area, I guess. And he talks about, I made a bunch of money and I've got a fancy house, but I'd give it all up to get some gold. But he talks like in a normal voice. It's not appealing in any way, shape, or form. And they show all these clips of how he used to be. And he might not have been everybody's, cup of tea, but man, I thought at the very least, he was a character back then who was pretty entertaining at points, and now he's just the most sanitized version of that. It's
I know.
Weird.
I know. They've made someone who can be a very dynamic performer boring. He's boring.
Yeah.
He needs to be introduced as TNA superstar Cameron Grimes from here on out.
Dude, he did such good work back in Impact as Trevor Lee.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I even thought everything up to him basically turning face.
Yeah.
And the DiBiase LA Knight feud, I thought was solid stuff.
Yeah.
But once he started the face turn, I don't know.
No, I agree.
He's such a good heel. He's got so much charisma.
He's a really good heel. He is, yeah.
So then we get Dakota Kai after her loss to Saray. She's walking up to Wendy Chu backstage. And Wendy says, hey, it's not as easy as it looks, huh? And then she takes her shopping bags full of stuff that she illegally purchased with someone else's credit card and walks away.
Yeah. Kai just starts muttering to herself. So anyways, Toxic Attraction start coming to the ring. Indy and Persia attack Gigi and JC. Fit Finley runs out, tells Mandy, go to the ring now. And so she does. We have that match, Kaylee Ray versus Mandy Rose. This is a really good match.
It was a good match. Towards the end, Kaylee Ray's looking for her finish. Instead, Mandy reverses to a code red, gets a 2. Kaylee Ray hits a super kick, goes to the top rope. So the idea of having Persia and Indy attack GG and JC was to think, okay, they're not going to be involved in this main event. You'd be wrong.
Right.
So JC runs out first to distract the ref. And then while she's doing that, Gigi pushes Kaylee Ray off the top rope. Mandy hits her running knee to get the win. So then Toxic Attraction all surround Kaylee Ray. Mandy has Kaylee Ray's bat. And then Gigi and JC hold up Kaylee Ray. So if Mandy wants to, she can hit her with the bat, but she's too busy talking trash at the moment. Io Shirai runs out to make the save. She takes out Toxic Attraction, or Gigi and JC. Mandy grabs Io by the hair. Kaylee Ray hits Mandy with a KLR bomb. And then Gigi and JC pull Mandy out of the ring.
That is correct. Good stuff.
You got to consider Kaylee Ray and Io Shirai probably the favorites to win the Women's Dusty Cup at this juncture.
At the very least, it's going to be those two against. I would be shocked if they weren't on opposite sides of the brackets of Cora Jade and Raquel Gonzalez.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's going to be those two teams in the finals.
Yep.
Yeah. As far as that, I don't know. I think I would be kind of shocked if it wasn't Cora Jade and Raquel Gonzalez that actually won the whole thing, though. I kind of feel like that's going to be the thing. But, yeah, they're definitely going to be in the finals together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Let's answer some questions.
Yeah.
David Matushek here on the Patreon says, why is it when WWE makes a storyline that involves someone committing a crime, it completely lacks real-world logic? Because I think they would file that under, it's a fictional show. You do it for the lulz. You do it for the laughs.
Probably.
You don't pay attention to real life stuff for that.
I would imagine,
which
yeah.
I get. I mean, that is one of those things that's so egregious in terms of it violating any semblance of reality, though, that it's like, really?
Yeah.
It gets in the way of the laughs there. You know what I mean?
I know. Oof. NXT got hit hard with
Ooh, don't tell me. They usually get around 600. I'm going to say they got 480.
400.
Wow.
Guess the demo number.
0.07?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, I got that right, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's like half of a good number for them.
I know.
Fuck.
I know.
Wow.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to expect some drop moving to a different network for the week, but that's pretty huge.
Yeah, that's 2/3 what they usually do. They dropped a third.
Mm-hmm.
Raw went from like usually a 1.8. It's insane to me. It's funny. I remember going back before the pandemic, or I'm sorry, when the pandemic started, and we had the empty arena stuff, and it was doing really terribly. And you had said there's a good chance that a great number of people simply will change their viewing habits and won't come back to Raw. And it's funny, they literally dropped off around 500,000 from pre-pandemic, and those people have not come back. They were pulling over 2 million on a weekly basis back then. It's nuts if you look, because I was doing a little bit of research on the ratings when in advance of the Survivor Series review we got coming up, and around that time, it was it was a significant drop off because we're talking about like 5 years after the Attitude Era was hot, right? So you're talking about like around 5 million viewers back in 2002. Around 2015, it was down to around 4 million was the average. So like they didn't lose that much in that
more than
period.
a decade. Yeah.
And then around 2016, 2017, it just fell off a cliff. It fell off an absolute cliff. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Vince should have retired and like that's one video I'd love to do for like Friendo Club TV. Is like the year Vince should have retired because they had so much good stuff going from around like the 2016 draft.
I know. That could have been the launching point for a new era of WWE.
It really could. I mean, you think about how much cool shit they had going on back then, like the Shield and all that stuff. They had so much cool shit going on for them. And then Vince was like, "No, I wonder if any of it was Vince decided to stick around because he wanted to nail the Roman Reigns thing. And when that didn't turn out, he was like, "Oh shit, I have to get this thing right." And then we're just still stuck with him.
Yeah, no, that could be. Also, I don't think there's any. He'll never convince himself that he should leave.
You're probably right about that. Yeah, I doubt he's ever given it any real consideration.
No.
Joseph Molina asks, what felony should someone on NXT 2.0 commit next?
Oh, Jonathan says piracy.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah, I like that. It's like that episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here. Nick Kyle says, assuming Dolph Ziggler is Bob Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler's on NXT 2.0 full time now. What does Bob Roode do next?
He should come back to NXT. That's where he had his best times and under the WWE umbrella. He was a really good NXT champion. I miss NXT Bob Roode. He
should team up with Bobby Lashley to be the glorious Impact Connecticut.
All right, that's good.
Xavier Gray, why is Tommaso Ciampa still in NXT?
It's a good question. Don't know.
Vince saw him in his matches, his tryout matches for main roster, and was like, why does this guy look like he's in his mid-50s? Have him dye his beard. He still looks like he's in his early 50s. I want nothing to do with him. But he's his work rate. No, we don't care about work rate here on main roster.
We don't care about work rate. We care about attractions.
I want possible Mania main eventers like Braun Breaker. Let's see here. Moses Opposes says, earlier this year you talked about combining the Dynamite and NXT 2.0 reviews. Yeah. Is that still going to happen? Probably not. I think we're okay with how we're doing things.
Yeah, it's all right. It works.
I mean, if NXT 2.0 doesn't, can you imagine if they come back to USA in a week or 2 weeks or whatever it is, and they're pulling like sub 500 numbers? If people like missed it, or they're like, I don't really miss this.
Yeah,
and like that, like they might not give us a choice. If it moves to the network, we're just gonna figure something else to do on Tuesdays.
Yeah. Dang MQ says, who is next for Ilya and Mako? I don't know if Amelia McKenzie is next for Mako, but they got to start moving on that story.
She just ate a loss to it might be Isla Dawn might be next for Mako.
Oh yeah.
Because that's who Amelia lost to. Millie.
As far as Ilya, Joe Coffey. I don't know.
It could be. They're in a thing with the Dye family right now.
Mm-hmm.
Rampage is probably hurt still. He already had. Well, yeah, he didn't do. Did he do Ilya? He didn't do Ilya, all right. Yeah, that was the match he got hurt. Was the Ilya match?
Yeah.
Any chance they run? Dude, they can't. They better not run Devlin back. That dude lost against a guy who had his hands literally handcuffed behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to lose that and then try to make a case? No,
no.
That's not going to happen again.
Yeah, no. It would be really cool as Ilya versus Noam Dar.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be really good. What's A-Kid doing right now?
He was doing that thing with Saxon Huxley. He's backed way down the mid card now.
Saxon Huxley has a bigger shot against Ilya than
A-Kid does.
I mean, than A-Kid, yeah.
I felt like a massive step down for A-Kid from a creative standpoint.
Yeah, that was actually kind of shocking to be honest with you. Could be Sam Gradwell. Gradwell's got to finish up against what's his face, Kenny Williams. Yeah. You what? Kayfabes Mayfabe says, if someone else from Maine were to pop down to NXT for a quick feud, who would you like to see come down and who would you want to see them challenge? He says,
so someone from NXT to Maine?
Yeah, for a quick feud. He says, for example, he would want to see Pete Dunne go up to fight Cesaro briefly. That'd be cool.
It's Walter taking on Roman Reigns and winning.
Gunther versus Roman Reigns.
Walter.
Well, it's his name now is Gunther.
Walter.
Because that's his grandpa's name?
That's what commentary said.
Or no, I don't know. I can't tell. Alex Foster says, should Tony D'Angelo have his own faction? He has his own faction. They're just not on camera, but he named it. It was the guy with the brick and Tony 2 times or whatever.
Yeah.
Get the papers.
Yeah.
They should bring those, a couple of the developmental guys in as those characters.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Get the papers. Gunther's Gone Wild asks, Gunther's Gone Wild. What a great name on Patreon.
That is a great name.
Says In Your House had a bunch of events that were themed after specific wrestlers, like In Your House 12, It's Time, In Your House 14, Revenge of Taker, D-Generation X In Your House, and Rock Bottom In Your House. Should they bring that back for special events in NXT? He says, what about NXT come Tuesday? Where was Von Wagner this week?
I think I saw a clip of him and Robert Stone on Twitter, but I didn't notice it on the show. Was it a .com exclusive?
Clearly, I guess.
Or is it like right next to a commercial break and I just accidentally fast forward through it?
You can't ask me that because, dude, I was fast forwarding through. On Raw, I fast forwarded through Liv Morgan and Dewdrop's promos. I was like, they are not saying anything I need to hear right now. Oh man. Yeah, that was probably just on the .com, I'd imagine. They're like, we don't need to see this shit.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. Oh, we'll finish on this one. Zondo says, who else should get an implied faction like Tony D? I want to hear. I want Gunther to have I want Imperium to have an extended faction that's just implied.
There you go.
And it's just it's like a Dieter from fucking what was that old Mike Myers sketch on SNL?
Oh, Sprockets.
I want Imperium to be redubbed Sprockets. Now is the time on Sprockets when we dance.
Middle of the match, they say, now is the time we dance.
Oh, shit. That would be amazing. Oh, please. Now is the time on NXT when we dance. Creed Brothers are like, what the fuck? Oh, man, that'd be great. All right, that's going to do it for us, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tonight for the giant AEW extravaganza.
Yeah. What's
fan satisfaction.
What's going to happen?
Tony's going to go in and satisfy all the fans there. Anyways, thanks for watching. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.